In this video, we'll look at setting up Zoom for your classes. The first thing to think about is how can you approximate some kind of interaction using Zoom, and I would recommend asking students to configure their profile on Zoom to add a photo. It could be a photo of a cat or what have you, but just so that it's not just an empty name, but we have some sense of personality with what's going on with Zoom. And then the next thing to pay attention to are the recordings that you're going to be able to make. So this is one of our orientation recordings. And if you click on it, you'll be able to see that it has several pieces. There's an audio transcript, there's audio only, there's a chat file, and then there's a video. And this is going to be really helpful with accessibility for people who are not able to take in visual or audio materials. All of these things are going to be really important and automated when you select cloud recording, which we'll look at in a minute. And when that happens, you're going to have the video, but you're also going to have a transcript that's automatically generated, and that's going to be really important. So that's the cloud recording setting. And once you do that, you can think through the settings in Zoom in general that you want to think about. The waiting room is one where it will not necessarily admit participants until you let them. So I've had that on before. I'm going to turn it off here just so that no one's kind of left hanging. You can adjust those. And then this one, UNC Chapel Hill only, is important. That's going to prevent Zoom bombing as much as possible. So you want to try to keep that by default. And then the breakout rooms, if you want to set those up ahead of time, you need to turn that on in your settings. And these settings are done on the web interface, zoom.unc.edu. So you want to go there and kind of massage all of these and get them the way you want. This is also where you'll work with your meetings. So I'm going to go look at our orientation meeting and I'm going to edit it. And we can kind of see how these things show up. I had the waiting room checked there. I've got authenticated users. And I'm going to show you how to do the breakout room pre-assign. You can create rooms here for a particular meeting once you've turned that on in your settings, and then you can enter the email addresses of your various students, and they'll be saved into these breakout rooms. Let me speed this up a little bit here, and we'll kind of add these students in here so you get the idea about how you can create these breakout rooms. There's a way to import a spreadsheet file. If you have 19 students, probably pasting in the emails is not that complicated. If you had hundreds, you'd be probably well served to learn that. But anyhow, this is how we're going to set these up ahead of time so that you can facilitate group work as you're moving through your projects. So that's kind of massages and tweaks on the meeting settings that you're going to want to have in place. Next, let's look at how you set up a meeting itself so you can schedule a meeting. If you want to do this for your class, you'll probably want to give it a label that you recognize. You can use your own personal meeting. Everyone has a personal meeting, and that might be simpler for you if you don't want to keep track of all the different meetings. But I'm going to create a recurring meeting, and I'm not going to set it in any particular way because I'll have flexibility by saying no fixed time. I can tweak these other settings that we've already looked at, and then I'll be all set on this one. So if I want students to not have to wait for me, and if I want to add the breakout rooms, I want only UNC users, I can set up all of these settings, and here's where I'll create the rooms for my class meeting if I want to set that up. So those are some basics. You may want to experiment and see, and then this is the one where you record automatically. If you select in the cloud, then it's going to keep the transcripts and all that kind of automated, which will be a time saver and really helpful for people with disabilities.